Hey, fellow cowboy enthusiasts, welcome to Cowboy Nation Live. I am Kenneth J., your host, and as this is the first week of the 2015-16 season, which is also the 50th anniversary of the Super Bowl, we will be delving into the execution comeback that the Dallas Cowboys had against the New York Giants. The Cowboys were down 10 points in the fourth quarter until Tony Romo threw a pair of TDs to Jason Witten, the game winner within 7 seconds to play, as Dallas triumphed over the Giants and multiple mishaps to win its 8th straight season opener over the Giants Sunday night. Stay tuned because you don't want to miss this. Welcome back to Cowboy Nation Live. I'm your host, Kenneth J., and as always, I am honored and graced that you decided to tune in with Cowboy Nation Live. What an exciting comeback the Dallas Cowboys staged against the New York Giants. An amazing game, to say the least. The Cowboys now have an 8-0 record against the Giants in season opener games. It is also worthy to note that we've beaten the Giants in our last 5 meetings. It was an amazing game, and if you missed it, you missed the relentlessness of the Dallas Cowboys. Tony Romo's passing completion percentage was 80% as he connected 36 times of the 45 that he threw. Amazing. The 2 interceptions he threw resulted into 10 points for the Giants, but nonetheless, the tenacity he exuded driving back down the field to garner back-to-back touchdowns in the final minutes of the game showed the unremittingness of Tony Romo. Romo, who just happens to lead the NFL in fourth quarter comebacks, reached down into the mouth of defeat and snatched out the victory, and he did it without Dez on the field. You know, now that Dez will be out for the next 4 to 6 weeks, people tend to underestimate the rest of the Cowboy receivers. While Dez is undoubtedly one of the greatest receivers of all time, if not the greatest, I'll attest to the fact that many will see his injury as a setback for the Cowboys. Nonetheless, given what we've seen in Sunday night's game, the other receivers know that without Dez, who by the way caught 5 passes for 48 yards, it is an opportunity for them to prove their value, and that they did. Witten, who not only sealed the Cowboys' victory with the last 2 touchdown receptions, also caught 8 passes for 60 yards. Lance Dunbar also caught another 8 passes for 70 yards, and Terrence Williams added another 60 yards with 5 catches. Cole Beasley, Joseph Randle, Darren McFadden, and Gavin Escobar all respectively shared their value and talent as well to defeat the New York Giants. They used what they had to do what they had to do, and that was to defeat the New York Giants. Now, going into the game, many speculated about the Cowboys' running game. While it is true we lost one of the greatest backs in DeMarco Murray, we used what we had in McFadden, Randall, and Dunbar to achieve what needed to be achieved. Randall was the official starter as he ran for 60 yards on 16 carries. McFadden also rushed for another 16 yards. Now, people may think our running game has suffered since we lost DeMarco Murray, but I'd venture to say that suffer is not the same as different. While our running game has changed drastically, it is a grand opportunity for us because our opponents don't have the luxury of countering our new running back styles by viewing old videos from last year. It is an opportunity for us to use the talent and strengths of our new running backs as arsenal against our opponents. Not taking anything away from DeMarco Murray, but our opponents watched videos of him, and it would be a detriment to them to think our newly acquired running backs will run like DeMarco Murray. They each have their own strengths and talents that our offense coordinators will be sure to exploit in the design of plays to cater to those unique strengths and talents. Now, while our running game has changed substantially, our offensive line is still the same. No one can deny the protection that Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, and La'el Collins, first four-round talents on a single offensive line, along with Doug Free and Ronald Leary, bring to this team. I'll venture to say that this offensive line is the very foundation of the Dallas Cowboys. The time that Romo had in the pocket was amazing, as this offensive line is being touted as the toughest hole-producing and pass protection line in the NFL. With 4 first-round talents on a single offensive line who are all young and none yet in their prime playing years, this offensive line will surely stand the test of time. Overall, the offense did a really good job, and the defensive line held their own for the Dallas Cowboys, and Romo showed just how resilient he can be. Even the 2 interceptions that were thrown were not entirely his fault, as he spread the ball around to different receivers, to which was why they were difficult to defend. And with that said, we have to pay some bills, so we'll be back after these messages from our sponsor, KJ Multimedia. Social media is not just an activity. It is an investment of valuable time and resources with people who are not just supportive, but also who provide valuable input to guide and to inform our thinking about ways to continue creating wow factors in our online presence. We appreciate you all for not only liking or subscribing to our social media outlets, but also for engaging in meaningful conversations via our social media pages. Accordingly, here's to you for making us better than we ever thought or even dare imagine. Thank you. Welcome back to Cowboy Nation Live. Once again, I am Kenneth J, and let's delve into the stats of the Cowboys defense against the Giants. Let's start with that earth-shattering hit on Odell Beckham Jr. Beckham was hit so hard by J.J. Wilcox that he left the game to be checked for a concussion. On the other side, Wilcox reportedly broke his nose after hitting Beckham so hard. Beckham is reportedly to have told Wilcox that he has never been hit that hard before. Now, suffice to say that even though Beckham is an awesome receiver to watch, he nonetheless is still human, as the Cowboys have made him a non-factor for most of the night by holding him to just 5 passes for 44 yards. Wilcox also intercepted a pass from Manning, as did Brandon Carr, who also had 5 solo tackles against the Giants. Sean Lee, who was out all of last season due to a torn ACL, led the Giants with 7 solo tackles. His presence on the field was truly felt. Now, barely 24 hours after the ink is dried on the 5-year, $45 million contract extension Tyron Crawford signed Saturday, the Cowboys' defensive tackle recorded his first sack of the season in the opener. In addition to his sack, Crawford finished with 2 tackles for a Giants loss and a quarterback smash. The Cowboys' defense played without defensive end Greg Hardy and linebacker Rolando McClain, who will both be missed for the first 4 games due to suspensions, but who will return October 11th against the Patriots. Now, replacing them are the Cowboys' second-round picks from the past 2 seasons, DeMarcus Lawrence and Randy Gregory. Gregory, who suffered a high ankle sprain, will be out like Dez for 4 to 6 weeks. But before the injury, Gregory had been on the field for 21 of the 38 defensive snaps and was having a very, very good game. He had yet to record a sack, but he beat Flowers on the edge a few times. And he was helping out, putting all that pressure on Eli Manning. Overall, the defense did pretty well, I would say, considering the facts that they were playing against one of the best receivers in the game in Odell Beckham Jr. and playing without Scandrick, McClain, and Hardy. And yet they still managed to cause Eli Manning to rush a few throws and prevent the Giants from scoring when it truly mattered most with their goal line defense. It can and will only get better, but they deserve some credit for the stand they took in the end. Now, as far as the special teams did a very good job in the game. Now, many people will overlook special teams since there isn't as much to really get excited about. The Cowboys, however, did have some good plays on special teams, which not only set the tone for the game, but also won some battles with the field position. Now, former teammate Dwayne Harris found out firsthand how hard the Cowboys special team players can hit. He fielded a punt in the second quarter and was hit hard behind the 5-yard line. Now, the Cowboys were down the field in a hurry and definitely stayed in their lanes to help cover that punt, as they did the entire night. Now, stay tuned for our final analysis, and we'll be right back.
It's the NFL on EA Sports. Two NFC East teams about to go at it as we join you from AT&T Stadium.
Now, things didn't work out exactly how the Dallas Cowboys had envisioned going into Game 1. Not only did it take a last-minute drive to win the game, but also we lost Pro Bowl wide receiver Dez Bryant to a broken foot and rookie defensive end Randy Gregory to an ankle sprain. Both players will be out at least a month, which is a difficult pill to swallow. We lost 2 significant players, but we did get it done. Now, if we can take away one thing from the game, it would be the fact that we showed grit. We didn't buckle when things weren't going the way that we wanted them to, you know? The defense held strong at the very end, and the quarterback and the receivers stepped up and showed out when they needed to. And at the end of the day, the Dallas Cowboys are 1-0 with the division win under their belt. That's all you can ask for. A win is a win. And now it's time to get ready for Philly on Sunday. Well, that's all for today, but check us out at Cowboy Nation Live and go to our fans photo page to upload a picture of you or your dog or anything dressed up in your favorite Cowboy jersey or memorabilia, and you'll be entered into a drawing to win more Cowboy memorabilia. Also, look for more Cowboy news and updates on Cowboy Nation Live pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Leave a comment about how you think the Cowboys did in their season opener. Well, we'd like to thank our sponsor, KJ Multimedia Solutions, for their work and sponsorship. And thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to check back next week as we discuss the Cowboys versus the Eagles. Until then, good night, everybody.